For a long time, masturbation was shrouded in myths and prejudices, especially when it came to older people. But thanks to scientific research, we now know that sexuality has no age limits. Masturbation, when practiced in moderation, is a natural process that can have a positive effect on the body by improving blood circulation, regulating hormonal balance, enhancing sleep quality, and protecting the brain from age-related changes. It does not indicate a loss of control. Rather, it demonstrates vitality. Although gerontology has been studied for decades, a publication in the Journal of Gerontological Nursing revealed a curious finding. Older adults who practice regular masturbation report improved quality of life, reduced symptoms of depression, and even lower intensity of chronic pain. Regardless of gender and marital status, whether married, widowed, or single, this result is observed across the board. It turns out that closeness to one's own body is a quiet but effective foundation for a full and happy life in old age. Why then is this important factor often ignored? The answer lies in the persistent negative bias towards sexuality in older age. Many mistakenly believe that after 60 or 70, sexual desire fades and a life without pleasure becomes inevitable. However, this is a misconception. My name is Dr. Eduardo Vasconcelos. I am a physician with more than 40 years of experience, specializing in older adults' health, as well as human sexuality and well-being in later life. The information presented in this video is based on facts, not speculation, opinions, or social prejudices. This content is built on the foundation of scientific data obtained from years of research and clinical practice. In today's video, I will explain how mindful masturbation can benefit your health by improving blood flow, protecting the sexual organs, balancing hormones, and contributing to a longer, better quality life. At the end, I will answer a frequently asked, though often shyly discussed, question: is there a certain age after which masturbation becomes undesirable, or can the pleasure from it be enjoyed throughout life? Share your age and where you are watching from in the comments. The topic is important, relevant, and deserves serious discussion. Let's speak about it respectfully, openly, and honestly. First of all, I want to emphasize that masturbation in older age can be not only pleasant, but also significantly improve sexual health. In the third age, masturbation is not just a source of pleasure, but a true tool for maintaining and enhancing well-being. It stimulates blood circulation in the intimate area, protects against atrophy, increases sexual activity, and reduces the likelihood of dysfunctions such as erectile dysfunction or vaginal dryness. In addition, it helps preserve the sensitivity of the sexual organs and the body's natural sexual response over time. In situations where there is no steady partner or frequent intimacy, it is often the only way to maintain an active sexual life. Next point. Despite medical progress and the spread of information, there remains a strong prejudice regarding the sexuality of older men and women. Many continue to view the intimate desires of older people as unusual, unacceptable, or even shameful. This attitude towards sexuality in later life, what we can call sex ageism, alienates older adults from full intimate and emotional lives, causing guilt and shame and forcing them into silence. But the reality is that sexual desire does not lose its relevance with age, and ignoring this fact is equivalent to neglecting an important part of human well-being. Desire does not fade with age. Men and women over 60 or 70 retain the ability to feel attraction, experience pleasure, and enjoy intimate moments. Physiological responses may change. Arousal may develop more slowly, and stimuli may take on a different character, but the need for intimacy remains. In this context, masturbation serves as an important tool for maintaining a connection with one's own body and the experience of pleasure, regardless of the presence of a partner or a regular sex life. It is important to understand that masturbation is not a substitute for anything. It is a legitimate and natural way to maintain sexual activity. It is safe, does not require another person's participation, is not associated with physical risks, and is accessible to people of any age. In older age, masturbation is an effective way to support sexual function, keep the sexual organs toned, and cultivate a sense of pleasure in the body. Even with infrequent intimate contact, self-pleasure helps keep the sexual system active. It is also important to note that older people often face the loss of a partner. Over time, many divorce, become widowed, or remain in relationships where sexual desire has faded. This situation deprives many of the opportunity for intimacy with another person. In such cases, masturbation becomes one of the key tools for maintaining active sexual health, providing relief, enjoyment, and preserving the functionality of the sexual organs. Without needing another person's presence, it still confers significant physical and emotional benefits. Sixth benefit, masturbation as a replacement for intimate relations with a partner. Not all older people are able to engage in intimate relations frequently. Due to various circumstances, be they physical limitations, lack of a partner, or simply mismatched interests, many go through long periods without intimacy. In such situations, masturbation is a safe, controlled, and healthy alternative to sustaining an active sexual life. It helps preserve sexual desire, stimulates the sexual organs, and prevents their apathy without requiring physical exertion or interaction with another person. Self-induced sexual arousal has a positive effect on physical, hormonal, and emotional states. In older age, masturbation improves blood flow in the intimate area, prevents atrophy, and ensures that the reproductive organs receive sufficient oxygen and maintain sensitivity. It also stimulates the production of key hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, and oxytocin, which play important roles in regulating libido, energy, and emotional well-being. Beyond that, masturbation benefits physical and emotional health by helping to relieve pain, reduce stress, improve sleep quality, strengthen immunity, and boost self-esteem. Essentially, it is a simple but effective habit with a profound impact on well-being. In eighth place comes the release of substances such as dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin after sexual activity. After orgasm, the body produces substances that immediately and significantly improve well-being. Dopamine elevates mood, motivation, and feelings of satisfaction. Endorphins have natural pain-relieving properties, reducing pain and stress. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, promotes relaxation, calm, and better sleep. These positive effects are also observed during masturbation, which is especially important for older people because of its role in emotional well-being. Number 9. The risk of developing pornography addiction in older adults. While masturbation can be beneficial, it is important to understand the risks that may arise when it is combined with excessive pornography consumption, especially among older people. In seeking emotional comfort, they may develop a dependence on visual stimulation, which can later lead to decreased sensitivity to real sensations, dissatisfaction, problems with natural arousal, and even social isolation. Ideally, masturbation should be mindful, closely connected with one's own body, and not reliant on constant artificial stimuli. However, excessive masturbation and sexual compulsion can negatively affect health. When masturbation shifts from a pleasant moment of enjoyment to a repetitive, uncontrollable act, it can lead to various problems: sexual compulsion, social isolation, reduced natural libido, and even physical pain, all signs of excess. Overuse can also disrupt daily routines, degrade sleep quality, and harm emotional well-being. The usefulness of the practice lies in its balanced inclusion in life without guilt and, at the same time, without developing dependence. When in doubt, consulting a professional can help adjust behavior safely. It is important to remember that maintaining blood flow to the sexual organ is necessary to prevent atrophy. With age, men naturally experience a decrease in the frequency of spontaneous erections, especially at night and upon waking. The absence of natural stimulation leads to reduced blood flow to the penis, which can trigger tissue atrophy and loss of erections. Regular masturbation, by inducing natural erections, helps maintain activity in the penile blood vessels and oxygenation. This intimate action prevents hardening of the corpora cavernosa, preserves their elasticity, and prevents blood stagnation. Maintaining circulation in this area is a key factor in preserving male sexual health. Spontaneous erections can be disrupted by neurological diseases and by taking medications. In older age, many men face problems that directly affect sexual function. Conditions such as diabetes, stroke, Parkinson's disease, and multiple sclerosis damage the nerve pathways that control erection. In addition, long-term use of medications for hypertension, depression, insomnia, or heart disease can also reduce the frequency of spontaneous erections. Gradually, the body stops receiving natural sexual stimuli, which leads to weakening of penile tissues. In this case, masturbation acts as a compensatory mechanism, helping to maintain sexual function even in the presence of serious medical problems. However, polypharmacy, taking multiple medications at the same time, which is common in older age, can negatively affect sexual function regardless of neurological disease, reducing the frequency of erections. Medications such as antidepressants, antihypertensives, sleep aids, or pain medications can adversely affect blood flow to the sexual organ, making arousal more difficult. Regular masturbation in these situations can help compensate for these side effects and preserve active erectile function. This is confirmed by studies showing that the use it or lose it principle also applies to sexual health. Men who regularly practice sexual stimulation, even without a partner, demonstrate stronger erectile function and a reduced risk of penile atrophy. After surgeries such as prostatectomy, physicians recommend induced erections, both natural and with the help of special devices, to maintain structure and provide oxygen to tissues. Masturbation can be viewed as a form of sexual physiotherapy that helps maintain activity, good blood supply, and functionality of the penis throughout life. Specialists recommend at least one masturbation session per week, at minimum, to preserve penile health. Although there are no strict rules, it is believed that obtaining an erection regularly, at least once a week, is sufficient to maintain its health. Maintaining a minimal frequency of stimulation is necessary to oxygenate tissues, keep the vessels active, and reduce the risk of functional disorders caused by a lack of stimuli. If masturbation is the only source of stimulation, it should be regarded as a health-maintaining practice and not only as a means of pleasure. The main thing is not intensity, but regularity. Even in older age, this simple habit can noticeably improve the quality of intimate life. Regular practice enriches the penis with oxygen and supports the health of its tissues. During an erection, regardless of its cause, for example, masturbation, blood flow to the penis increases significantly. This oxygen-rich blood nourishes the internal tissues, maintaining their elasticity and preventing them from hardening or degenerating. A lack of regular circulation can lead to fibrosis, a decrease in length, and reduced rigidity over time. Thus, masturbation serves as a physiological exercise that supports the structural and functional integrity of the penis, which is especially relevant for older men. It is important to note that there is no established upper limit on the frequency of masturbation as long as it does not cause harm. Contrary to popular belief, there is no fixed number of times per week or per day. Only if masturbation negatively affects daily life, causes pain or guilt, or becomes a mechanism for avoiding emotions can it become a problem. In the absence of physical or emotional harm, the frequency of masturbation can be individual and vary according to a person's desires and well-being. For older adults, what matters is not quantity, but the quality of the experience and its benefits. Masturbation can serve as either a temporary or a constant source of emotional support for older people, depending on their emotional state. For some, masturbation is a stage in coping with the loss of a partner during a period of grief or in a marriage that has cooled. For others, it becomes an integral part of life, a way to maintain a sense of pleasure and independence from others. It is important to remember that both approaches are acceptable and natural. Each person is unique, with their own history, pace, and preferences. Masturbation can be both a short-term form of emotional support and a lasting source of well-being and self-knowledge. The link between an active sex life and well-being, especially in old age, has long been confirmed by science. Maintaining an active, intimate life, regardless of a partner, as well as sustaining interest in the body, touch, and desire, including masturbation, contributes to a longer, healthier, and happier life. Older people who are not ashamed to receive natural pleasure report improved mood, reduced depressive symptoms, higher self-esteem, and even lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Sexuality is an integral part of health, and caring for it means caring for your own well-being. Nevertheless, the topic of masturbation in old age still embarrasses many. This shame arose simply because the topic was silenced for a long time, at the cost of the health and well-being of millions of older people. Joy does not fade with the years. To deny this is to diminish people's dignity, health, and independence. If this information was useful to you, share it. Many suffer in silence because of entrenched stereotypes. Spreading this information can help overcome taboos, improve relationships, and even preserve the intimate well-being of those who especially need it. Let us prove to the world that happiness, self-care, and longevity are inseparable companions at any age.